I've got some of the Warcry cards because GW stock came in for me. Let's see what's in the Bonesplitterz. So these are the cheapest of the factions to collect because you get everything you need in one box. So you get this in multiple languages, including Japanese and Chinese and Russian. So this might help out if you've got people who are non-English speakers. So pop this to one side. It also means they only need to do one print, one for all the cards for everybody. This is the troop types you've got. You've got the Savage Moorboy Boss, Savage Orc with Spear and Shield, the Big Stabber, Banner Bearer, Arrow Boy, Hand Weapon Shield, Hand Weapon, Arrow Boy Boss, Savage Boss with Hand Weapon Shield. So that gives you 3 potential bosses. Let's have a look at what the icons are. You get 2 cards like that for doing multiples. So this is the Savage Arrow Boy Boss. So 125 points, so not that expensive for a leader. 25 wounds, toughness 4, move 4. You've got 2 weapons. You've got an arrow with a minimum range of 3, maximum range of 15, rolling 3 dice, strength 3, 1-3 wounds. That's pretty decent, and that's the stat that you've got for the bows for everybody. So bows, potentially super useful. Hand weapon, 1 inch range, 3 dice, strength 3, 2-4. So better in close combat than shooting. Clocks in at 125 points and has 2 icons. So let's pop over for the faction abilities. This one, Tooth Shiv, visible enemy with 1 inch, 3-4 given 1 damage point, 5-6 given damage points equal to the value of this ability. That's pretty handy actually. And loads of arrows. Add 1 to the attack's characteristic of attack actions made by this fighter that target an enemy fighter more than 3 inches away. So if you are sat there 15 inches away with 2 actions to spend, you can spend a triple and you roll 4 arrow dice for 1-3, which is potentially really useful. So this clocks in at 125 points for a boss. You then have the Arrow Boy, 90 points. 1 less toughness, 10 less damage, worse hand weapon, but 35 points less. You probably want to take a couple of these for fire support, because potentially they're super useful. They do have a roll 1 less dice for arrows, so you only get 2 arrow dice. So, but potentially very useful unit. Moorboy Boss, I think. Let's double check because, yep, Savage Moorboy Boss. That's the leader icon for the leader universal ability. It just really looks like the Tooth Shiv icon, which is what you've got on the Moorboys. So, Moorboy Boss, move 4, tough 4, 25 wounds, 4 dice, 3-6. So that's potentially got the same sort of damage output as the Iron Golem's Ogre, as some of the big stuff with big mashy weapons. So potentially that's 24 points in a turn, but you're hitting strength 4, doing 3 damage on a hit, 6 on a crit. That's real good. Banner Bearer. He's got this special ability, Beast Juju. Add 1 to the toughness characteristic of enemy fighters while they're within 6 inches of this fighter. Same thing as the Iron Golems, much more useful on these guys because a lot of them are toughness 3, which means that if you bump them up to toughness 4, that makes a difference. With the Iron Golems, a lot of them are toughness 4, some of them are toughness 5. For toughness 5, it makes no difference. So 110 points, that's absolutely worth having in your warband. Is Moorboy with Tooth Shiv, and he's got the Tooth Shiv ability. So again, 2/4 damage, 3 attacks, strength 4, move 4, tough 3, 15 wounds. 110 points. Decent unit. This is the Chopper Shield boss. Tough 4, 25 wounds, 2/5 damage, 185 points. He is 20 points cheaper than the Shiv boss, but he pays for it in having worse damage output in close combat. For 20 points, I'd rather take 3/6 because everything else is the same. Big Stabber. This is your big beastie. 30 wounds, only toughness 3, 3 dice, 5 strength, 3/6 damage. But only range 1. 175 points. No rune mark ability. So you can still charge to give him a bonus move action on a double. You can still use Rampage, you can still use Onslaught. And Onslaught would be quite good with this, as is anything that gives them bonus attacks. But there is not anything particular about this. I mean, yeah, they've got Rampage and Destroyer as a quad action that anybody can do. Add 1 to the attacks characteristic to give them 4 dice, 3/6. Anytime they take an enemy fighter down by an attack action, they get a bonus move action. So you can potentially attack, kill, move, attack again, move again. You could potentially get 4 actions out of that. But it's not very tough. It's got 30 wounds, but it's not very tough. Moorboy hand weapon shield. Sorry, Savage Orc Boy hand weapon shield. 1/3 damage, 15, 4, 4, 90 points. Strength 3 in the attack. He's okay. Spear shield, very important 2-inch range. 1/3, everything else is the same, but 5 points cheaper. Let's have a look. No, he loses 1 attack dice. So lower damage output, but range. Looking at this, I would always take an arrow boy over a spear boy. I'd probably go with, let's compare Moorboys and Orc boys. So Moorboy, 1 lower toughness, 1 higher strength, 2/4 damage. I'd suck it up and take the Moorboy. He is 20 points more expensive, but his damage output is a lot better and his strength is better, so he's more reliably punching through enemy armour. So as a whole, you've got a decent number of units in the warband. You have 9 choices. I would go with definitely a totem, definitely a Moorboy boss, definitely 2 or 3 arrow boys. The rest is up to you, but looking at it, you probably want to take some arrow boys, some Moorboys, to make sure you've got 6, 7, 8 models on the table. You've got some good rune mark abilities. Beast Juju, excellent. War is a leader thing and is very useful for getting your guys in. Add the value of this ability to the move characteristic of friendly fighters within 4 inches. It turns your 4-inch speed pretty quick, even if you get, say, a 333 or 444. Suddenly you're jumping 8 inches forwards. Particularly combine that with Rampage and Destroyer, you can get in and do some horrible stuff to things. The Big Stabber combined with Rampage and Destroyer, the damage output is really good, but it is pricey and you are putting a lot of things together. With this, I'd be tempted to use your archers to whittle down or knock out a couple of enemy units on the way into you, and then pile your Moorboys and your Big Stabber into whatever they've got that's big and that's left. Do as much damage as you can with things like War, things like Rampage and Destroyer, things like Onslaught. Looking at this, Bonesplitterz look very much down the middle. They've got good combinations of close combat ability and firepower. The stuff isn't hugely expensive. You're spending 90 points for your arrow boys, you're spending 110 points for your maw boys. You probably want to get 3 each of them. That gives you 600. 110 for your standard bearer, 175 for 205 for this guy, 175 for your big stabber, and change one of your arrow boys for a standard. So that gives you 2 arrow boys, 3 maw boys, champion, big stabber, and a totem bearer. Which is 8 models, is a solid amount of stuff, and you've got a big nasty thing in there, and your boss has got really good damage output, and you can whittle something down from long range, and the arrows are definitely good. But with that you've got 20 points to spare. There's a lot of nice stuff in Bonesplitterz. It is a 1-box warband, so you don't have to invest in anything else. What you are going to run into is issues getting the cards, because you only get 1 pack of Bonesplitterz in each display module of cards. So unfortunately you don't get 2 of each. You get 3 of the GW favourites, so that's Nighthaunt, Stormcast and Gloomspite Gits. But things like Flesh Eater Courts, Ironjaws and Bonesplitterz, you only get 1. You get 2 of the Murder, 2 of the Bikini Elves, 2 of the Fish Elves, 2 of Nagash's Legion. You might run into some issues getting hold of the cards if you don't order them ahead of time. But yeah, these, I'm impressed with the warband. I'm going to try playing it at some point quite soon. And it is the cheapest warband to get into in the whole game, unless you're buying the bespoke warband especially for it. So it's the cheapest AOS warband to get into. Right, if you've liked this video, hit like and subscribe. If you want to chat, leave a comment below. But otherwise, good gaming.